Good morning, the students of class 7. Today I am revising the first chapter on your social science history class, and the name of the chapter you have already known, Tracing Changes Through 1,000 Years. And you have already watched that video in previous class and as a PowerPoint presentation on the first two subunits. And today I will again discussing all the two subunits in the first page of your book, a history book. That there are two maps given, and one map is drawn by Arab geographer Al-Idrisi in 1154 AD. It is long ago. And another map was given in the next page. It was drawn by French cartographer Guillermo de Isle. It is not mentioned in your book. It is enough for you to know the French cartographer. The map was drawn by a French cartographer in 1720 AD, and both of them given a large sketch of Indian subcontinent. But there is a lot of difference in the two maps, because both the maps are drawn in and second map was drawn almost 500 years after the first map, and it was proved that the science of cartography was different in two periods, because at that time when Al-Idrisi drawn that map, at that time no such equipments like advanced equipments were not discovered through which they can measure and draw the map. Like at that time, mostly those maps are drawn by their memory. When they travel through the Indian Ocean, they observe the coastal lines, and in their mind, their impression of the coastal lines are they remember the coastal lines, and then after when they return their home, they draw the map. So it is based on memory, so that's why, and it is not so much correct. Today we saw the map of India. It is mainly based on satellite images. So satellite images are more specific, and we can easily identify any place of the earth with the satellite images and can easily draw the map. But that time no such thing was there. It is totally based on their memory and as well as their measurement. They using various tools to measure, and then they draw the map. And the second map was also more advanced, because at that time some equipments discovered like sextant, like measurement tools, and with the help of those measurement tools they can the French cartographer easily drawn the map of India, which is more similar than today's map. Next subunit, it is new and old terminologies. So why this first introduction was there, to define this subunit, new and old terminologies, that how old things are totally different from the new things. So in this way, day by day, when we read history, observe something, we have to remember that there is a course of transformation through which those things evolved. That number one, the historical records exist in a variety of languages. That all the history today we read actually written in various different types of languages, and were found in different parts of the world by the archaeologists and historians. They actually translated those writings, narrations from one language to another language. And in the case of translation, by mistake or by intention, they mixed something new in the new narration, in the new writings. So in this way, slowly the things had changed. Another reason that in ancient ages, people mostly wrote on palm leaves or on the bark of birch tree. No paper was there discovered at that time. So in this case, when they copying, they just put something new and something creative from their mind, and as well as they include some different words in their native languages. So when in the similar way, when they Suppose they translated something from Sanskrit to Persian, or then when the British historians they translated something from Persian to English, then something different was already happened. Some difference was already occurred. So this is the problem with variety of languages, with the new and old terminologies, and some old terminologies turned into, and the meaning also changed with this translation. Suppose one word, it is something else in previously, but now the meaning of that word is totally changed. Suppose the mobile, I already give you the example. There are a lot of different examples are here. The mobile means to move, which on the move, one place to another. But today mobile means a phone, a device. It is totally different. So both the meanings are totally different today. In the similar way, another word was used in Persian language, that is Hindustan. Previously, the meaning of Hindustan, as per the Minhaji Siraj, he used the term Hindustan for the regions around Punjab, Haryana, and the areas between Ganga and Yamuna. So the valley between Ganga and Yamuna. But the same word Hindustan was used by Babur in his autobiography Babarnama. And in the book, Babur used the term to describe the flora and fauna, geography and culture of the subcontinent. What is flora and fauna? Flora means the vegetation of Indian subcontinent, as well as fauna means the animals. And geography, the geographical locations. Suppose the desert of Hindustan means the Thor desert region. The mountains of Hindustan means the Himalayas and other Vindhyas or rest of the mountains. And the culture means the Indian culture. Today we call the Indian culture, it is a mixed culture, and at that time also, as a Hindustan, everything belongs to the subcontinent. They called Hindustani culture, Hindustan culture. So number 4, the 14th century poet Amir Khusru used the word Hind. He also used the word Hind, but the word Hind used by Amir Khusru, it did not mention any political or social identity. That today we use the word Hind in today's time, and the meaning was totally different that was used by Amir Khusru. Number 5, the word foreigner means who is not an Indian. Another example was given how terminologies, old and new terminologies are different. That is the word foreigner. Look at carefully that today it is known as who is not an Indian, came from outside country. Number 6, but in the medieval period, a foreigner was a stranger who appeared from outside of a village or who was not a part of that society or culture. Suppose someone came from outside in your village or town in medieval period 500 years ago, so that person was known as foreigner. So that person was foreigner to you. I have already given the example of that. Suppose someone came from outside to Burdwan, from Kolkata to Burdwan in medieval period, that person is called a foreigner to the people of Burdwan. But the people and similar way, but those who living in the same village, who living in the Burdwan, is not a foreigner. But today it is not. Today the people of Kolkata also not the citizen of India, so they are not foreigner to us. So this is the difference of old and new terminologies. Like Hindustan in ancient period, the different name Hindustan, and in the map, the old map is different than new map. The terminologies in Hindustan was different than today, and the term foreigner was also different in old times and new days. So in this way, all the things, old and new terminologies are totally different. So when historians wrote history, they carefully noted down all these things. And when you will study history or some ancient books or something, you should be very careful about that to understand the meaning of the terminologies. That's it from today's class. Hope you have understood this class. Next day we come with another 2 subunits for revision. So keep reading and keep following our e-learning classes. Thank you for watching.